If you took away my whiteboard, my speakers, and all the fancy tech, I'd still fight to keep one thing in the ESL classroom, a deck of flashcards. Not because they're cute, but because they're one of the most powerful, flexible, and proven tools we have for getting language into students' heads and keeping it there. Today, I'm going to show you why flashcards are so much more than a little kid's prop, how they can transform vocabulary and sentence structure practice, and a few tweaks that will make them 10 times more effective. Let's go. But before we dive in, I would like to introduce myself. Hi, I'm Mira from Effective English Teacher. I help ESL teachers create hands-on, memorable lessons that get students talking and loving English. And at the end, I'll tell you how to get my free set of 25 flashcard games so you can start using these ideas right away. Okay, let's go. Number 1, flashcards turn review into a recall. Here's the thing, most students can recognize words far earlier than they can produce them. Recognition feels good. They see a word or a picture, nod, maybe even whisper it under the breath, and it feels like they know it. But recognition is a bit of a trap. It doesn't mean that they can actually use the language in a real conversation. And in the ESL classroom, using it is the goal, right? Flashcards flip the dynamic. When you hold up a card and ask, "What is it?" or make a sentence with this, you're creating a micro search party in the student's brain. They have to dig through their mental vocabulary box, pull out the right word, and organize it in their mouth before they can give you an answer. And that digging, that act of retrieving language, is what builds a stronger, longer-lasting memory. Think of it like going to the gym. Lifting the weight is what makes the muscle grow. Just looking at the dumbbell won't get you anywhere. For example, if the card shows run, don't just accept run. Ask, who runs fast in this class? They have to personalize the word. Tell me about a time you ran. Now they have to use past tense and details. Run to the board and write me a sentence. Add movement and writing to lock it in. Each time you push them to do more with the word, change tense, add details, make it personal. You're upgrading a 1-second recognition into a powerful language workout. And here's the bonus. Once students get used to this, you can stretch the recall challenge even further. Show 2 cards and ask them to connect them in a sentence. Or show a card but forbid them from using the word. They have to describe it instead. That's recall on steroids. Number 2, flashcards make spacing effortless. You've probably noticed this pattern. A student learns a word on Monday, remembers it perfectly next week, starts to hesitate by the second class, and by the week after that, it's gone. And that's not because they're bad at languages. That's just how the brain works. We are wired to forget what we don't use. And the magic trick is to bring the word back just before they would have forgotten it. This is the sweet spot, and the sweet spot is called spacing. And it's one of the most reliable ways to turn short-term learning into long-term language. Here's the best part. You don't need apps, you don't need tracking charts, or a research degree to do it. Flashcards make spacing almost automatic. All you do is keep a revival pile, a small stack of cards from previous lessons, and mix them into whatever you're doing that day. When you sprinkle older words into today's activity, you're forcing students to dust off those mental files and use them again. Each time you do that, the memory gets a little stronger and lasts a little longer. Example routine you can copy tomorrow. Lesson 1, teach, jump, climb, swim through a fun game or activity. Lesson 2, mix those cards with 3 for new ones and do a quick speed drill or race. Lesson 3. Use them in a sentence building game. He climbed a mountain yesterday. Now you're sneaking in grammar too. And then lesson 4, drop them into a mystery bag game where students pull a card and have to act it out or make a silly sentence. By this point, jump, climb, and swim aren't just words they saw once. They've been retrieved, used, and reused, and that's how they stick. Number 3, flashcards go way beyond single words. Most teachers start with flashcards for vocabulary. This is a cat, this is a table, and stop there. But that's like owning a smartphone and only using it to make phone calls. Flashcards can do so much more, especially for grammar and sentence structure. The trick is to treat each card as a springboard rather than an endpoint. Instead of stopping at apple, you can guide students to build richer and richer language from that single prompt. Example with the apple card. Simple present. I eat an apple every day. Introduces routines. Past tense. I ate an apple yesterday. Practices verb changes. Extended detail. I ate a big green apple in the park yesterday. Adds adjectives, place, and time. Question form. When did you eat your last apple? Works on question structure too. And this approach trains students to apply grammar patterns naturally without turning the lesson into, here's the rule, now do the exercise moment. The pattern slips in under the radar because it's tied to meaning, not just form. You can also layer in creativity by showing 2 or 3 cards at once and asking them to connect them into one sentence. Cards. Dog plus run. The dog is running in the garden. Cards. Boy plus swim plus lake. The boy swam in the lake last summer. This kind of chaining forces them to think about word orders, tense, and agreement, all while they think they're just making up a story. And here's the bonus. When students regularly use flashcards for full sentences, they start internalizing grammar patterns through repetition and variety. So when it's time for a speaking task or a writing assignment, the structures are already in their muscle memory. Number 4, flashcards hit every learning style at once. One of the best things about flashcards is that they work for every kind of learner without you even trying. The picture speaks to visual learners. Saying the word out loud helps auditory learners. Acting it out gets kinesthetic learners moving. The magic happens when you combine them. Let's take swim as an example. First, hold up the card so everyone's eyes lock on the image. Then the whole class says, swim together. Next, the whole class mimes swimming. Finally, each student makes a sentence. For example, I swim every Saturday. In less than a minute, students have seen it, said it, moved with it, and used it. That gives the brain 4 different hooks to grab the word later. If they forget the sound, they might remember the picture, or the movement, or the sentence pattern. You can also use this to slip in grammar without making it feel like grammar. Show swim and point back, and they have to say, I swam yesterday. Point forward, I will swim next summer. You've just practiced grammar patterns without opening a grammar book. It's simple, it's fast, and it works for every learner in the room at the same time. Number 5, flashcards give you instant classroom energy control. Flashcards aren't just for teaching vocab. They're also one of the easiest ways to manage the mood of your classroom. If the room is too loud and too restless, slow everything down. Show 1 card at a time. Give students a few extra seconds to think and ask for full, detailed sentences. The slower pace naturally lowers the energy. If the room is sleepy or flat, flip it. Turn the cards into a quick fire challenge. Make it a race, a team competition, or a lightning round where they have to answer fast. Speed and movement instantly bring the energy up. Example: need more energy in class? Play Pass the Card game. Students pass cards around the circle as quickly as possible. When you say stop, whoever's holding a card has to say the word or make a sentence before the timer runs out. This gets them moving and laughing and thinking on their feet. Need to calm the class down? Play Secret Sentence. Each student gets one card and quietly writes or thinks of a sentence that uses it. Then they share it in turn. Everyone's focused, taking their time, and listening closely. The beauty is you can switch between high energy and calm in seconds just by changing how you use the same set of flashcards. No extra prep, no extra materials, just a shift in pace and purpose. So flashcards aren't just bits of paper with pretty pictures. They're one of the simplest but most powerful tools you can use in the ESL classroom. They're a recall engine, turning "I recognize that" into "I can use that." A built-in memory booster, making spacing and review happen naturally. A bridge from single words to full, accurate, confident sentences. A multi-sensory powerhouse that works for every type of learner at once. A secret classroom lever you can pull to instantly raise or lower energy. When you use flashcards for both vocabulary and sentence structures, you're not just filling your students' heads with words. You're giving them the building blocks of real fluency, the kind they can use outside the classroom without hesitation. And the best part? It doesn't take fancy tech or hours of prep. Just a smart set of cards and the right ways to use them. To make it even easier for you, I've put together a free download of 25 flashcard games. These are tried, tested, and ready to use whether you want to energize the class, practice grammar, or sneak in a bit of revision. You can grab it using the link in the description. So go ahead, pull out your flashcards this week and try one new way of using them. You might be surprised at just how much your students remember and how much they have fun doing it. Happy teaching, and I'll see you in the next video.